Each technology type gives you an edge on particular type.
Okay, so this Krogan's using the N7 Hurricane, one of the best SMGs in ME3 multiplayer, and so I'm glad that's returned, and it's probably still going to be the N7 category because it, as I said, it's actually a boss of a machine gun, well, submachine gun.
Enemies.
Now he mentioned something there about categories of weapons being advantageous against other types of enemies. So I don't know how that works exactly. Do you get like a bonus damage if you use a certain type of weapon against a certain enemy type, or again, not really explained too well there, but I guess we'll find out in due course. M8 Avenger returns, no surprises there. That's probably one of the most basic weapons in Mass Effect 3. To start a weapon, put it that way, and once you move up the higher difficulties, it starts to become rather pointless to bring it along. Venom Shotgun, didn't really like this weapon. In fact, I don't think I really used it at all, to be honest, but towards the end of multiplayer, some people swore by it for certain tactics, but for me, not so much.
Over 40 unique weapons will be available with more.
Okay, so he mentions over 40 weapons available at launch. Now, that's quite a lot, especially when you generally bring only 2 at a time, or sometimes even 1. That's a lot of experimentation, a lot of playing around with certain weapons, and as I said at the start, with each DLC release that they do bring out more maps, more weapons, so definitely good to hear that that's going to return to Andromeda.
Arriving in the months to come.
Okay, so this screen is slightly different to the ones previously. So as you can see, you've got weapon 1. They're bringing along the paw, and it's got 2 attachments. And again, that's something that wasn't shown clearly in the previous screens. But you can modify your weapon. So you bring the base weapon, and then you can put on up to 2 attachments. Again, that returns from ME3 multiplayer, so nothing new there. You can bring weapon 2, Sidewinder, no attachments on this particular weapon, and then you've got an equipment slot. And this person hasn't equipped anything yet, but I'm guessing they're about to.
You can use any weapon.
Alright, so funnily enough, just as I say that they haven't shown the modifications yet, this is it. So basically, you pick a weapon. In this case, it's the Sidewinder, level 4, and you can put on up to 2 attachments. So as you can see, pistol barrel, magazine, melee optimizer, pistol receiver, and pistol scope. The scope, self-explanatory. Barrel does more damage. Extended mags, self-explanatory. Melee optimizer basically puts a blade on the top of your weapon, and so your melee damage increases when you use it. Great for like Krogans and stuff like that. And then pistol receiver, I don't know, rate of fire or something. I'm guessing it's something to do with rechamber speed.
There are no class
Oh, did he actually talk about it then? No. So as you can see, each mod does a bonus for the weapon. So in this case, it's better accuracy, and obviously, as you'll see on the next one, better damage. And it does actually physically change the look of the weapon as well, which is a nice touch. But I guess when you're looking at it from a top-down point of view, you don't really see it. And he did mention that there are no restrictions in terms of you can use different weapons on different characters, and obviously there are no ability locked out to each race either, I think. Okay. Alright, okay, so as you can see, the objective is 92 meters away. Now, the objective in this case is the final wave, and so it's extraction. As you can see on the top right of the screen there, it says 1 minute 40 seconds, but in ME3 it was actually 2 minutes, so I'm guessing this has just been like shown fast forward a little bit. So it's probably 2 minutes again for extraction. You don't need to get there early, you just need to be there for when the ship leaves. So the good tactic is to go and stand on the opposite side of the map, let the enemies come towards you. With about 20 seconds to go, you all leg it towards LZ or EZ, and then you just wait for the ship to pick you up with about 2 seconds to go or something like that. That's the best way to do it. Obviously, you don't leave yourself too short, because then you might get left behind and lose out on bonus credits. But you don't fail the mission per se if you don't get extracted. You just, well, actually, maybe you will fail the mission if it's part of the campaign. Anyway, you want to get to the EZ and get extracted, if only just for the bonus credits. So that's a tip, I guess. As you can see, extraction wave at 7 doesn't really make any sense. I'm guessing because this is sort of the the early build to use it like game conventions and stuff like that. They've made it so that extraction is wave 7, but in the final game I'm guessing it's going to be like it was in ME3 and wave 11. So you've got 1 through 10, objectives at 3, 6 and 10, and then you've got extraction at wave 7. I'm guessing they're going to follow the same pattern. I don't think they've changed it too much in terms of that. Cobra RPG destroys a turret, enemy turret, or like a Cerberus turret, I don't know. That's about it.
Modify and upgrade weapons to give you an edge on the battle.
Oh, actually, there was that little thing there. So this person's using a deployable shield, again featured in the campaign, and I've already talked about it in the story reveal trailer or whatever it was.
To give you an edge on the battlefield.
Okay, so Annihilation, I believe that is a power, and that returns, and I'm glad to see it return. N7 Hurricane, SMG as I talked about, great, see it come back again. Now this, I believe, new weapon. I do not recall that weapon, or at least I didn't recall using it, because I probably didn't like it or something.
Boosters are...
Right, so the next big factor when it comes to multiplayer, I suppose, are the boosters, and these are one of the things that you get from the I almost said supply drops then, from the crates. I mean, I guess in some ways they are a bit like supply drops. You get random stuff from a crate, and you can either use in-game currency or you can use real-world money. So yeah, I guess supply drops is an adequate term. Anyway, I digress. So as you can see, boosters consist of ammo. You can get weapon upgrades, not permanent upgrades. So like you can get like extra damage for one match, offensive, defensive, and you can get progression. And these will be revealed on the following screens.
Another element of your loadout, granting additional...
So these are the ammo variants. I think there are a few more which aren't shown on screen, but here you've got Cryo, you've got Disruptor, you've got Incendiary. In ME3 you also had armor piercing, and then you had warp ammo, and I think there was some more as well. But again, you unlock these via the crates, and as you can see, they have their own levels as well. So you got level 1, 2, 3, and as you guessed, the higher the level, the more effective it is. So in this case, level 1 does extra damage by 2.5, and it slows and chills enemies. And then
attributes like cryo ammo.
Does it go? Okay. Well, doesn't show, but I'm guessing it goes higher as you go up the levels. Now defensive. So here you've got Cyclonic mod, which increases your shield. Again, these are all one-use boosters. So I think, well, in ME3 you could bring 3 of them, and then one bonus one, which was a separate category, but you can bring up to 3 consumables as part of your loadout, and even if you failed or if you succeeded, that'll be used, gone, or if you left the game, for instance. And as you can see, it goes all the way to level 4, and 4 is considered, I guess, N7 rating, and so those are the rare ones, but you can get plenty of level 1s and level 2s. Those are quite easy to come by, but 3 and 4 will be a lot harder to come by, and you kind of want to save those for your really tough matches, so I guess whenever Platinum comes around.
Shields, faster skill cooldown.
Okay, so when it comes to power mods, as you can see, you've got things like Bartic Amp, Combat Power Amp, maybe that's to do with fighting, and then you've got power efficiency and power capacity. And as you can see, power efficiency increases your recharge speed of powers by in this case 30%, and all the other ones do similar stuff. So Bartic does extra Bartic damage, and combat, I'm guessing, is more punching damage, melee damage, or maybe more bullet damage. No, won't be more bullet damage because that's to do with the ammo types, so possibly more melee damage. You know, you get the idea, that sort of thing.
Or even extra XP.
Okay, now this one wasn't in ME3, and this is XP, well, additional XP. So as you can see, level 2 gives you 50% extra XP, level 3 possibly 75% or something. I don't know how much this is going to affect multiplayer, because in ME3 ranking up didn't really mean much. You ranked up your character to level 20 and then that was it. Any more you played was dead XP, it didn't count towards anything, and it didn't really take you that long to get to level 20 anyway. Level 20 per character, well, yeah, per character was maybe, I don't know, half a dozen matches on gold, if that, or something like that. And so I don't really know if XP actually counts for something now. Maybe there's an ongoing progression, so maybe the N7 rating, or maybe this goes towards Apex rating. And basically, the more you play, the higher your rank, and so maybe now having a high rank, or you know, Apex rating, N7 rating, whatever it's called, actually mean something now, and so you can sort of show how long you've played, how much time you've put in. I don't know if I want to show that to the whole world, but I guess it's better than not showing anything.
I'm hopping into battle as a...
Okay, so this is like the ready up screen. So as you can see, you've got host, and then you've got 1, 2, 3 players with the host. That's 4 altogether, and that's the most that you can have. But you can actually tackle multiplayer, or indeed, obviously, the missions on your own. So, I mean, you've probably seen a few videos of people doing solos on various difficulties. I myself have completed a solo platinum match, one of my final achievements in Mass Effect 3. And so I'm guessing people are going to do the same sort of thing for Andromeda as well. And when it comes to platinum, it's going to kill me, but I'm going to try and get one done, just to say that I've done it. So, you know, look forward to seeing that, I suppose. So we've got Turian Havoc Trooper, which I guess is a soldier. You got Solarian Operator, which I believe is an infiltrator. And then you've got Human Adept, which is an Adept, obviously, and Krogan Engineer, which I don't think they featured in ME3, so that's quite interesting. As you can see, there's quite a big difference between the Apex ratings here as well. So you got 2300 at the start, and then you got 23,000 for this dude. So he's putting some serious hours. So they're playing another custom match, Firebase Sandstorm, facing the Remnant, and they're playing on bronze, which, I mean, it's a good place to start, but I feel like these players probably know more about the game than what they need to play bronze. But, you know, maybe they just want a bit of chill time.
Turian Havoc Trooper, equipped for medium to long range.
Okay, so in ME3 you sort of saw everything on the same screen. When you go to the when you saw the characters, and then you go to the right and you got all the loadouts. But on this one, it seems like you actually go onto a separate page. So as you can see, person 1 is using the Remnant LMG, but then also bringing a sniper rifle. That's going to be really heavy, and so the power's going to recharge really slow. Poor decision there. I guess the Apex rating is fitting for this person. Next person using the Valkyrie at level X. I hope it isn't N7 rating, because this weapon wasn't that good. It's a burst weapon, fires in 2 shots. It's accurate, but its damage just got outclassed by pretty much all the other N7 weapons, I think. So it wasn't very good. Equalizer. So this is what it looks like. No idea what it does. Probably an SMG of some sort. M8 Avenger, very light weapon, but I guess one of the basic ones. I'm not too sure why this person's brought it along. Same with the Katana. Completing challenges, maybe. I don't really get that loadout, but both quite light weapons, but not very heavy, damaging ones either. Sweeper looks like a sniper. I think it is a sniper. Was it mentioned in the list? I can't remember. Hurricane X, obviously, beast of an SMG, as I already said. And you got all these powers here. We can speculate all day long, but I think I might have covered some of them in the single player anyway, so I won't do it again. And then you got boosters. So it looks like a sniper, extra damage. I don't know what that one is. Looks like some sort of ship. I don't know. Not too sure. Extra XP, and I think that's one of the power boosters, so extra combat damage or something. Again, another ship, but this time this one is N7 rating, and then you've got extra assault rifle damage. Oh, so the sweeper is actually an AR then, not a sniper or a shotgun as I thought. And as you can see, yeah, so these are level 4, where that's level 3. That's probably bronze actually, and then that's level 2 silver. I think that's all the information on this screen. And obviously, when you're ready up, and then the match starts.
Combat with a skill focus.
Okay, so this is the Turian using an SMG.
On combat and tech abilities.
It's worth noting that this isn't how the game is going to look, by the way. This is sort of like an extra third-person view, because normally it's over the shoulder. And also, speaking of shoulders, you can actually swap left and right now, so that's good.
Solarian Operator is equipped for medium to close quarters combat with...
So the guy then just used, well, the Solarian, I don't know, some sort of electric shock, maybe strip away the shields,
combat with a skill
and then follows up with what looks to be like a little barrage of mini rockets or something.
With a skill focus
quite
entirely
cool.
on tech abilities. Our Human Adept is also equipped for medium to close quarters combat, but she's rolling into combat with a skill focus entirely on biotic abilities.
Okay, so the guy says that she's spec'd for CQC combat. Why the hell has she fought the Valkyrie, which is an AR, which is probably best at mid to long range? an SMG or a shotgun would have been better if you're playing CQC, especially with Bartics as well. I don't know, rookie maybe.
Last but certainly
so that's the same screen we saw earlier.
Not least is our Krogan engineer. This bruiser of a teammate is going to play a vital role in supporting us should things get tough.
So Krogan is generally the tankier of the characters available, so they should be the ones that can absorb the most damage. But then sometimes you get players who are really reckless and, well, not reckless, but sort of overzealous and end up getting down behind enemy lines, and then you've got to go in there and pick their asses up. But that's a whinge for another day.
Looks like everyone's ready. Let's get to it.
I don't get it. They keep showing us the same screens over and over again. All right.
Here we're on Firebase Sandstorm.
Okay, so the person's using the Black Widow sniper. Graphics look a bit better, I suppose, and it looks like you can customize the color of your characters as well. It's usually a two-tone color set, so you can have like a highlighted color and then you can have like a base color. Not, I mean, a huge fan of customization, but it's nice to have. And I did actually have a set of colors for each of the classes. So Infiltrator would have one color and Adepts would have another color. So I'll probably bring that back again, assuming that's what you can do. Quite a nice map. I mean, it's hard to gauge from these videos, but the maps sort of look like the same sort of size as they were in ME3. I mean, there are some smaller ones, some bigger ones as well, and I guess we'll find that out as we play the game.
This is Wave 4. We're taking on the Remnant, which will be arriving in greater numbers than in previous waves. We'll need to work as a team if we want to survive. Here they come. Wielding a Black Widow sniper rifle, I'll pick off some enemies with my squad mates.
So the thing that I noticed about these enemies is that they can be a bit more aggressive. I mean, I guess in ME3 they would attack you anyway, but in this one they actively rush you in some circumstances. And I know there was a problem in ME3 where the developers felt that players were happy to just pick a site and just defend it for the entire match. And I mean, yeah, it's a viable tactic, but not everyone did it, and they didn't do it all the time, certainly. But they introduced characters such as the Dragoon and the Guest Bomber, which people really didn't appreciate. And I mean, it adds more variety to the game, but yeah, those two particular characters, well, enemy types, were bloody annoying.
The Remnant have excellent combat range, and our position seems jeopardized, so we're going...
So as you can see, the instance of the enemy just basically just spawning in next to them, that is just really BS. I don't really appreciate that, but I guess we'll find out. New badge earned, sniper rifle kills. I guess badges return, obviously. Does that award you anything, or is it just extra XP and well, I'd like extra credits. That would be nice.
Seems jeopardized, so we're going to rush ahead into the buildings where we aren't so exposed. The Nullifier and Assembler are stronger enemy types, but they're no match against a good fire combo. Still, the Remnant are advancing on our flanks. I'll post up behind cover and lay down fire with my assault rifle while my shields recharge. Looks like there's a clear path through these buildings, so we'll dart around and attack them head on. In periods of calm like these, always consider using the supplies you've carried into...
See, I disagree with this statement. If the situation is calm, why do you need to use any of these? You're not going to be able to self-revive because you're not down. There's no point using your shield because it's complete waste. If it's completely calm, hit an ammo box. Haven't seen any of those, by the way, in this video yet. And you certainly don't need to nuke anything because there's nothing to kill. So this statement's entirely wrong. I don't understand what this guy's saying.
Combat. It seems you caught these observers by surprise.
So again, a tactic which didn't feature in ME3, you can jump in the air and you can shoot them from up high, or in some cases you can even do a Bartic charge as well. Obviously this character doesn't have it, but it's the verticality which is definitely increased and improved in MEA.
Using our powers combined, they won't last long. Remember, the best kill is a combo kill.
And then he says the best kill is a combo kill, which, yes and no. The best kill is the one which kills the enemy the quickest, whether it's a headshot with a sniper rifle or to the chest with a shotgun, you know, whatever puts them down quickest. Fire combo is good because obviously if you get like a fire explosion or a Bartic explosion, it can kill the enemy and do damage to the surrounding enemies as well. So it's based on circumstance, really. You can't really blanket say that all fire combos, all combination kills are the best. It's whatever's most efficient is what I would say.
The remnant force has dwindled significantly, but those that remain are starting to swarm. Just like us, they're stronger together. It looks like our Krogan teammates.
Okay, so as you can see, the remnants have a crazy amount of spray. As you can see, it's one of those weapons where it's best fired from cover. I don't know if cover again increases accuracy. It's what it did in ME3. In the background observer, this is, I guess, one of the, not bosses, but one of the tougher types of units. Not too sure yet whether insta-kill comes back, but this guy, well, the Krogan got flattened by this laser thing, and so now this player's gone over to revive them. If you get downed, you can get revived. There is a countdown timer. If you don't get revived in time, you're out for the rest of the wave. Well, that's how it worked in ME3. I assume it's going to be the same for MEA as well. But of course, you can always self-revive if your teammates aren't going to make it in time.
Needs some help. You can approach and revive fallen squad mates anytime, but be careful, as this will leave you exposed to the enemy. It looks like there's still a few stragglers. Let's send them out with a bang.
Interesting. Now, I didn't notice this first time I watched it, but as you can see, enemies are highlighted through the wall. I did mention earlier the mine. It could be that they've brought back the mine from the recon mine from MEA, which scans the area for enemies. Debuffs them as well, so that might return.
Let's send him out with a bang.
Or it could be that there's only a couple of enemies left, and so they get highlighted just to make things a bit quicker. Could be that as well. In the ME3, they did sort of say one guy left, and then sort of put a square around him, but not show him through the wall. Well, him, her, it. So maybe that's just the way they've handled it now.
We've cleared the wave, but they'll be back and in greater numbers.
So even though the map looks quite big, as you can see, there are boundaries to the map. They just haven't put physical wall there, but I'm assuming if you go past that poster, that sign, you end up dead. Question is, can you go out and then back in again, or is it you straight past the line and then you're dead?
Numbers. Make sure you and your team are ready. At launch, there will be 5 multiplayer maps, including Sandstorm. They are Firebase 0, an outpost.
Okay, so 5 maps to start off with, which doesn't sound like a lot, but considering that you can fight against 3 different factions, that's at least 15 variants of matches from the off. And then obviously you've got different characters and different weapons to experiment with. And before you know it, the next DLC will be out and you'll get at least 1 new map, possibly new weapons and new characters. So, you know, it doesn't sound like a lot to start off with, but this isn't like Call of Duty multiplayer or anything like that. You're going to be able to get quite a lot from these 5 maps, and that's something that I guess it's hard to appreciate until you actually play the game. Yeah, 5 doesn't sound like a lot, and I guess it isn't a lot, but the amount of time that you can put into those 5 maps, and as I said, different factions and stuff like that, you don't sort of notice it until a short while after anyway. So I'm hoping by that time they will have released the next DLC, and obviously you get more stuff to play around with. Okay, so mission's over. As you can see, wave 7, they did it in 15 minutes, which is quite long. I don't want to be like elitist or anything, but 15 minutes for 7 waves on bronze difficulty, these guys aren't pro, to say the least. So you do get an extraction medal, and I'm guessing all this is just XP. So extraction medal, and then you've got weapon kills, and then you've got, I think this is headshots, and maybe that's the number of kills altogether. So I know that in ME3 you had like different categories. So you've got like gold, which was 75 kills, and silver, which is 50, and bronze, which was 25 or something like that. And what else? There was some. Okay, so you complete the match, you earn XP, and as you can see, this Asari character is being leveled up from level 3 to, well, you'll see it in a minute, level 4. And then at the bottom here, this is the interesting bit. And if I just let it play out.
All players' XP, credits, and medals are added up and awarded to each player.
Okay, so as you can see, leveling up characters is relatively quick. They've completed 1 bronze match, and he's already leveled up once, right? So if you do high difficulties, you'll be able to hit several levels at the same time. The bonus stat, the health regeneration, is 2 million XP, right? Which is way more than it will take to level up the Asari to max level. In fact, it'll probably be several characters worth. And so this is like the longevity of the game, which I guess ME3 didn't really offer post hitting max level of all the ranks. So this gives you something to work on in the long run. So if I don't, this is the thing that I don't understand. Is this something that you choose to put on per character, or is it built in per class? So maybe all the Asaris have health regen and different characters have shield and so on and so forth. I'm hoping it isn't. I'm hoping you can interchange them between characters, and so you can sort of work on this bonus stat, whatever it is. But as you can see, this is only level 1. So how high does it go? Does it go level 5? Does it go level 10? And I'm guessing, obviously, this is 2 million for the first level, so it's going to go way into the millions, possibly even higher. Well, okay, not higher, but it's going to go several millions higher for the next rank and so on and so forth. So, and I just want to know how good this bonus is. But I guess if you're working towards it in the background long term, doesn't make too much of a difference to you. Well, not in the short term, no, but I guess once you max it out, if you can max it out, that's a good thing. One final point before we move on. The guy did mention that XP is totaled up at the end, so it doesn't matter what you got individually. Everyone's XP gets put together, and then that's what you get assigned. So you could be the best Slayer on the team, but everyone still gets the same share of points, which I do and I don't agree with. On the one hand, yes, it's a co-op game, and I guess sharing everything is the best way to do it. But if, let's say, 2 people on the team carry the other 2 people through a gold or a platinum match, why should the other 2 people get the same amount of rewards as the other 2 when they've done, I don't know, less than 25% of the work? And I'm talking about score from the other 2, not 25% as in like shared throughout the entire match. So I don't know, hopefully you get more credits depending on something that you contributed towards the team, because otherwise this is the sort of thing that doesn't really make any sense. If you do more work, you should get more reward. If you do less work, you should be encouraged to do more work so that you get more reward, if you know what I'm saying, and not just be a passenger.